she would take us with her into the bathroom. That was disconcerting. That actually that messed with my head a little bit.
Okay, so now that we're live and we have that on record. Welcome to our Saturday night Final Fantasy XIV stream. Today, Rayn and I are going to be covering the story, the 5.1 patchwork story for Shadowbringers. I know there's going to be at least one dungeon that comes about from this, and yeah, so we'll see where the storyline goes from how Shadowbringers ended. Tuesday night, we're hopefully going to be checking out just a couple of the dungeons, the new dungeons. So we will see what happens. So we're pretty much good to go here. We're live. And I'm going to go check in with my retainers.
Did not realize we were live when I brought that up. Wow. That was still messed up.
Huh?
Damn it, Strife, this was supposed to be behind the scenes chatter.
My bad. Ooh, made a good chunk of money. I finally sold an orchestrion roll I was trying to get rid of. Made almost 300k off of it. Alrighty. Let's see. We'll go ahead and withdraw that. Checking with the other retainers here, see if they've got anything.
Depending on how fast this goes, we might be able to tackle a couple of the other dungeons we've got.
Maybe. We'll see how it goes.
Ow.
Ooh. Okay.
That would hurt.
Alright. Let's see. So we'll go ahead and shoot Sandra the party invite. And get ourselves to more Dona.
Or donuts.
Yeah, or more donuts, as we affectionately like to call it.
A lot of people affectionately refer to this place as donuts.
Oh.
Some unaffectionately. That was a weird conversation. I don't want to get into it.
Nobody wants to get into that. So I'm thinking. Let's see here. There you are. I'm thinking I know what I'm gonna be doing. Hello, Johan. Sorry. I think I know what I'm gonna be streaming come Monday. I think I've at least made up my mind on that one. So potentially tomorrow night we'll pick up some more Bloodstained.
Good old Bloodstained.
Monday night I'm thinking we are very, very long overdue for a return to Nier Automata.
Ah. This seems about the appropriate time for that, I guess.
Yep. Shake and resolve. Tataro seems eager to make up for lost time. Strife, God, it's good to see you. I hope your being here means you've had your fill of rest. Not so much as 40 wings, truth be told, or more than my fill. Gotta be honest here, I started grinding right away. You're too selfless, that's your problem. But you'll be no good to anyone if you don't take a break every once in a while. Anyway. Not much has happened since your last visit. I had planned for you to meet that helper I told you about, but he refuses to answer his link pearl. I do hope he's alright. We've been exchanging messages with the Eorzean Alliance throughout, though. They say the fighting has finally stopped at the Grimlet Dark, and that the Empire showed no sign of movement. Which means we might actually have a moment to ourselves for a change. Seeing as you're back, maybe you could tell me more about your time in the First. Great. Oh, and if you don't mind, I'd like to ask Filomena to join us. She'll want to know what happened to Minfilia, and I think it's best she hears it from you. We'll meet you on the terrace at the House of Splendors. Oh, this conversation I don't imagine going very well. This is gonna be interesting.
Isn't it, though? It's been a while since we've been up here.
Right? Feels weird coming back here.
Doesn't it, though?
Up, up, and away we go.
We'll stop. Fuck if I know.
Nope, not there. This is where Filomena oftentimes will hang out.
Mm-hmm.
Strife, my, it has been too long. Tataro did mention that I would be joining you, did she not? Thank you. Words cannot well express how I've longed to know more of the First. This Roman Filia has sacrificed so much to save. But come, rest your feet. Tataro should be arriving shortly. This is going to be a long conversation.
I would anticipate so.
And so Minfilia chose to pass on her gifts to the next oracle, this girl who Thancred named Rayn. To have such a burden thrust upon her as a child, only to embrace it when given the choice. In that respect, they are quite alike. It would seem her legacy is indeed in capable hands. Strife, might I ask a favor of you when you next return to the First? Tell Rayn what I cannot. To tell her, thank you. And I would offer thanks to you as well, for staying with her to the end. Begging your pardon, but could I have a word? Hey, Real. Real, I hope you're here to tell me you've received word from our helper. I wish, nay, I hadn't not had a peep out of him, and it's been a good long while now. On account of which, I'm going to sneak over the border and see if I can get a signal to him from closer up. But what if they catch you? There must be another way. Well, it ain't as if we can ask Thancred to do it. Besides, I shouldn't have no trouble picking me way through Grimlet now the fighting's died down. God knows there's enough shadows to hide in. And it beats waiting around here twiddling me thumbs. Anyway, I just thought I'd let you know. Now I best be... I nearly forgot. Kryle's at the stones and she wants a word. Something to do with the patient. She was getting ready to examine him again when I left. Uh-oh. We best head back then. I'm sure it's important. You know, considering the fact that Kryle has the Echo too, I'm actually kind of surprised that she didn't get called to the First.
Well, they gotta leave somebody.
Yeah. I mean, there was Tataru.
Yes, the one that the Carbon ran away from.
You get an E for effort. Well, so let's see what we got going on here. It's been a while since we've seen Kryle, so I'm actually kind of looking forward to this. I actually kind of wish... I'm kind of hoping that they actually show us the room that they're stored them in. Seems she's still examining them. Oh, I do hope it's nothing bad. I kind of want to see the room that they're resting in.
Yeah.
I'm surrounded by
You're
lava
here.
fells.
Good.
This would be terrible for Remick.
So, how are they?
Still locked in slumber, but otherwise in good physical health. For the present, at least.
Dun dun dun.
For the present? Oh no, is something wrong with them?
I'm afraid there may be. I summoned you after detecting faint signs of instability in Thancred's corporeal ether. But subsequent examination suggested all 5 might be affected. And when I examined them just now, my fears were confirmed. Tellingly, the degree of instability varies between them. Thancred exhibits the most notable signs, followed by Y'shtola and Urianger. The twins' ether, meanwhile, remains relatively stable, but there is a change there too if one knows to look for it.
Hold on. Isn't that the order they were called away in?
Indeed. Which leads me to believe the instability will only increase with time. Though I can but speculate, I fear this may be a symptom of a weakening link between body and soul.
By the gods! What happens if the link is broken?
I cannot say for certain. This is all unknown territory to us. Yet whatever happens, it cannot be good. Mercifully, the instability is still only slight. And you may rest assured Master Matoya and I will do everything in our power to keep it from worsening. Be that as it may, it is imperative that you find a way to restore our friends' souls to their bodies.
Leave it to me.
Thank you.
But where's he even supposed to start? We had the greatest minds in the realm hunting high and low for an answer, and they ran out of places to look.
You stated in your report that the Exarch had originally intended to reverse the summoning process by means of his own death, correct? Raha always was a reckless young fool, ready to die for the first righteous cause that came along. His plan might well have worked, but I for one am glad he never had the opportunity to see it through. Even if it does mean our friends must remain stranded a while longer. There is another way, I am sure of it. And the key lies with him, with the Exarch. Pray return to the First and apprise him and the others of the situation.
Yeah, well, it was pretty obvious this was going to be starting to
Meanwhile,
happen.
we'll do what we can from here. If the fates are kind, we will have good news to share upon your return.
How long can you be separated from your body before you start having problems like this?
Right?
Luckily, we can just return.
Oh, you're actually,
I'm set to the Crystarium as my return point. After all, it is where I spend the vast majority of my time.
yeah, lately. Okay. Return to the Ocula.
Guy's trying to look like Dean. You should let Civ know.
Sev, I was told to tell you that there's somebody trying to look like Dean.
With white hair.
With white hair. I gotta, how dare
And,
them.
I thought too.
How dare them.
Blasphemy.
Yeah. Yep. Strife, you returned. I hope your time in the source was suitably restful. But of course it wasn't. Go on. The corporeal aether shows signs of instability. By the gods, the possibility never even occurred to me. If you have returned in the hope that my research has yielded a solution, I fear you will be sorely disappointed. 'Tis but a mercy we have the likes of Mistress Corral and Master Batoya to keep our friends' bodies safe while we wrestle with the problem. But they cannot forestall the separation of body and soul indefinitely. Come, the others must be told.
Pray excuse my late arrival.
Will Thancred and Rayn not be joining us?
Nay, milady. With apologies to all, they beg leave to pursue their investigation of the empty to its conclusion. Should matters here demand their presence, however, they did assure me that they would make themselves available.
Yes, of course. Then let us proceed. I think it best that you begin by providing a summary of Mistress Kryle's findings.
I suppose it was only to be expected that some change would occur.
Yet our souls seem unaffected, to my eye at least. How long they will remain so is another question. Kryle is right. It is imperative we find a way to return to the source.
Perhaps an explanation of the method by which I brought you here will yield some inspiration. Ere I begin, it must be noted that I am by no means a gifted mage. In order to employ powerful magics, I must rely upon the Crystal Tower and its boundless reservoirs of energy. The magic that summoned you was no exception. 'Tis a singular spell, adapted through painstaking effort from the technique that transported me to the first. To use an analogy, it works by cutting a hole in the fabric of reality. A hole tailored to the object of summoning, through which it and it alone may pass unscathed. Though I succeeded in creating said hole, I failed to latch onto my intended target. Instead of you, the spell found those close to you, and ended up summoning them in their incomplete state. I would not soon throw my life away, not after the lengths you and yours went to save it. And so long as I breathe, I will spare no effort to see you safely home. But should all else fail, and your lives be at stake, there remains one sure method.
What was that for?
How can you even entertain such thoughts? You owe your life to the Warrior of Light, and you don't get to die unless he says so.
Your followers await your divine judgment.
What did you just...
If the two of you agree,
this is
we could return
great.
to our discussion. Rather than dwelling upon the multiple failed attempts at transference, I think it would behoove us to focus on the solitary success. I would draw your attention to the fact that our friend can travel between worlds possessed not only of his body and soul, but his personal effects besides. This is no different from the teleportation magics to which we are all accustomed. Magics that allow for the transportation of those inanimate objects one considers to be an extension of oneself.
Are you suggesting that simply by considering us his possessions, he could carry our souls back to the source upon his person?
How does one
Well, it would
consider
be
a
nice if
soul
things
an
were that
extension of
simple for a
oneself?
change. But vague notions of ownership seem a rather tenuous thing to stake our lives on. So much as a moment of doubt on his part, and we'd be left floating in the rift.
Milady hath the right of it. The requisite fixity of belief would be too much to ask even of our friend. Yet, were we to immure our souls within an object in his possession, mayhap then our safe passage could be assured. White Auricite would, I believe, serve as a suitable vessel for this purpose. It was conceived to imprison the massy soul of an Ascian, and should house one of ours with relative ease.
Yeah, but it only holds for so long.
We would need only to ensure our soul's safe preservation inside the stone, and identify a means by which they might be transferred back onto our vacant bodies.
Soul preservation and transference. I believe I know of someone who may be able to assist us. On the far shore of the source, there stands a great palace built by the elves. It was forsaken in the wake of the flood, but a certain Numo chose to make their home there soon after. Though they have long lived as a recluse, they once occupied a place of honor in Verbert's royal court, and it is said that none in all of Norvrant is more knowledgeable than they on matters of the soul.
Well, I've no objection to seeking a helping hand, but if they've gone to such lengths to hide themselves away from the world, what makes you think they'd be willing to lend us one?
A worthy question. Years ago, I myself tried and failed to solicit their cooperation in the battle against the Sin Eaters. No sooner had I begun to make my plea than they unleashed a swarm of their familiars upon me. Unlike me, however, you have curried favor with the Faefolk. By that merit alone, I am hopeful that they would grant you an audience.
Fascinating.
They may still be inclined to turn you away, of course, but if their knowledge might feasibly facilitate your return home, we have to try.
Oh man, the comedy. So good.
Alizé is very, like, borderline my favorite NPC. I fucking love this girl.
She's awesome. A grand adventure.
The Grand Cosmos, that is, the palace we see, stands on the opposite shore of the source. I will arrange for a boat to carry us there. Whilst thou journeyest thither, I think it best that I devote mine energies to the creation of White Auricite. By thy leave, of course. The process requireth no small amount of time, and should the Numoi consent to lend us their aid, we will have need of a suitable vessel ere long. Agreed. Then I would ask the rest of you to meet me in Sullen, and do be prepared for a warm reception. Oh boy. Fucking flicking the crystal X art in the head. Priceless.
And then friggin' Y'shtola. That was great too.
Okay, so... It would be faster just to do this way.
Once we unlock the place, I should probably grab a drink.
I'll drive so you can...
Actually, that works. BRB.
They see me rolling, they hating, patrolling, they're trying to catch me flying dirty. Wait, flying?
I have returned.
Welcome back. As I told you before, I had scarcely set foot on the palace grounds when I was set upon by my host's familiars, and I expect our reception today to be no different, which is why I propose we march through the main gate, weapons drawn. I'm sorry, but we are not here to petition for assistance. You can't honestly think barging in looking for a fight is going to persuade them. Actually, I believe the Exarch may have the right of it. They have no doubt poured a great deal of time and energy into their creations. Were I them, I should be most interested to meet with those who could overcome my defenses. As would any true seeker of knowledge, and there is little we can say or do to convince them to help us if we know nothing of their character, nor less why they chose to hide themselves from the world. But if we can seize their interest, mayhap we can earn ourselves an audience.
Time to do what I do best.
Weapons drawn it is, then. Though I must say, Exarch, you certainly seem to be enjoying all of this. Do I? Well, I will not deny that I enjoy the thought of fighting alongside you all rather than pacing about inside the Crystal Tower. You both seem to be in rather high spirits, if you ask me. Not that I'm surprised. Your moods invariably improve when strife is around. What exactly are you implying? He averted a calamity, and the light which seemed destined to consume him has been extinguished. 'Tis only natural that we be pleased to see him. Yes, well, we will have plenty of time to celebrate his good health after we've finished here. Of course,
I love it.
Fucking Alphino jumps in on the picking on Alizé and Exarch party. Oh man.
So good. So freaking good.
Alphino for the win. Oh, that's actually quite interesting.
Huh. Just Exarch.
Oh, he's selectable for this.
That's really fascinating.
My strength is yours.
Let's give it our all.
Granted, we can't do it that way, but
Yeah, it would be interesting.
it would be quite interesting.
Okay. So before we queue up into this one, I'm gonna go use the restroom.
Gee.
Okay, are we ready to do this, Mr. Rayn?
Yes.
Let's see what the Grand Cosmos has in store for us. Small talk. It's good to be here with you for a change. Whatever you would have me do, you need but say the word. How long has it been since we last went on such an expedition? I cannot help but be reminded of the ruins of Scala. I can't but imagine what manner of beasts keep guard here, and no doubt they will afford a scant opportunity to explore the palace. A pity. I think we've done enough talking, don't you? We have a new out to impress. Afraid of what else they may say about you, Alize? We just need a healer. Whee! Everybody's staring at me. It's kind of awkward.
Oh, they're eagerly waiting you to tell them what to do. Stola.
Didn't think it would be this hard to get into a dungeon with the tank.
I should go see if I can do that.
Go do what?
Grab my wallet so I can pay my freaking cell phone bill. It'd take me long, thankfully.
You step away to do something and ching!
I'm kind of trying to use reverse psychology. Nevertheless, I could probably do it. I just have to take something upstairs real quick, grab my wallet, come back down. I don't think it would ching before I get that accomplished. So, with that in mind, I shall return momentarily.
Alright.
I'll chance it.
They say waiting is the hardest part.
Sure enough.
Ching! Go figure, right? It was, oh, we lost to Deeps. No!
Received a new one yet.
I'm burning up!
Nani? Burn what off?
I don't know. I don't know anymore.
Strive, do we have to have another intervention?
No. Last one didn't go very well.
Oh, that's right. That all went to shit real fast.
Mm-hmm.
That poor Lollifel. He'll never be the same again.
Can't be any worse than the other Lullaby.
This is true.
I heard screaming, heard crying, I heard tearing, and then I heard nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, that bastard. He made a mistake. Not a Synthark style mistake, just general purpose mistake.
Woohoo!
Okay, it's dealt with then.
Well then.
Hi.
Well then. There's some Resident Evil logic for you. It looks like a safe hallway, but it's not.
Uteth the big. just realized the name.
Butte the Big.
Go forth, Queen. Beat the shit out of them.
Oh my god. I didn't realize we were in Fantasia. Do I have your attention now? Good.
You hear me now? Good.
It's a good thing I got all my armor upgraded for my tank class.
Indeed.
Alright, first boss. I don't like how those brooms are here. That is interesting. That was complete luck right there.
Mechanics of this boss seem pretty simple.
Ooh. This place is pretty.
Isn't it, though?
With wings of death, you bar our path. They hit hard, though.
Oh, look, pigs are flying. Oh, shit.
The music here is kind of nice.
It's a variation on Lakeland's theme, I think.
Almost every dungeon has seemed to have like a variation of the area theme it's involved in.
Yeah. Makes sense. Oh, look.
More piggies.
More pigs.
Jesus. These fucking things really hit hard.
Second boss.
Leon Sith. Leon Sheed.
You heard that one enough in Persona.
Mm-hmm.
Leon Sheed. I too have heard that quite a bit. Direct sequel.
I'm gonna take a gander. Yep, I was right. It's a freaking never reap mechanic. Keep it out of the grass areas.
Gotcha.
Oh, dude. Oh! Dude, Samurai, seriously? Bye-bye. Swear to God, the samurai's got a death wish.
Natter is trolling. Oh, look at his name. Omaya wo Shineu.
That adds so much more context than I absolutely needed for this.
Both of our teammates have interesting names.
Oh, not these guys again.
I shall temporarily act as immortal.
Huh. Sir Mothbert. The sad rhyme.
Oh shit. No. Unparalleled glory.
I've seen that attack before. By another dude who rides a horse. Round two. Hi, Paso. We're doing all right.
Ooh. Hi, buddy.
Hmm.
Fascinating.
Oh shit.
Okay.
Okay, so blue flames we gotta take off. Red flames, I guess, leave them alone.
Mm-hmm. Damn it.
Lost in the flood, their proud angels bathe in their wages of blood. Ooh! That looked like it hurt.
Wasn't too bad.
Yeah. So what happens now?
That was my fiercest familiar. Oh, impressive.
Oh god, it's the Matoya of the First.
Backlook, it's good to see you again after all these years. And judging by your vigorous greeting, I dare say the feeling is mutual. To be sure, a simple shake of the hand would have sufficed by way of welcome, but I shan't complain. But you must be wondering as to the purpose of our visit. We come to beg your assistance in a most urgent matter.
Shake? Beg?
Our comrades' very souls are in danger. If we are to save them, we will need the benefit of your unsurpassed knowledge on the matter. Please, will you not sit and hear our plea?
Oh, how dare you! How dare you speak thus in my presence! It was to escape such words of temptation that I hid myself from the world of men. You are sinners, one and all, and I swore never again to have any part in your affairs.
I can only imagine what terrible events forced you into a life of seclusion. But I know that the Numo are a good and noble folk. It is not in your nature to turn a blind eye to the plight of those around you. And in treating with us, I am certain whatever mistrust you feel for man will begin to heal.
Oh.
If you will not be satisfied, I suppose I could listen. After all, there's no harm in just... No, I mustn't. Not again. That damn court mage seemed to have the best of intentions too, and countless innocents died for my naivety. Oh, you know not what you ask of me. What horrors my knowledge has wrought. You know of the plague? Then you know how dangerous soulcraft can be. Instead of saving your friends, you risk damning them. Are you sure you're willing to take that chance?
You know, considering they're already in danger as is,
Oh. No. Oh. Very well. I will hear your petition, but that is all. And I expect fitting payment for my troubles.
Commensurate with your contribution to our cause. No more and no less, I promise you. With that settled, might I impose upon you to join us at the Crystarium? I'm afraid the nature of my friend's predicament calls for absolute secrecy.
She sits there and fights tooth and nail about even listening to it, but then apparently has no problem just being like, okay, fine, I'll go to the Crystarium. There you are. The others have gone ahead to the Crystal Tower with Victor.
Awesome.
For the record, I truly wish we hadn't had to resort to using words. Such words. Reading with them, I have never sought to convince, not compel. And I cannot deny that a part of me is glad Uriaja shared his knowledge of the Numo with us. Had he not, Big Luke wouldn't be here. Speaking of whom, we should hurry. To keep our guests waiting would only add insult to injury. Moving on to the Grand Cosmos. As part of the trust system. A welcome guest. We mustn't dally here any longer. Strive to Big Luke is to hear the truth of our travels and travails, and first you of all people should be present. And away we go. Whoa. Alright, so let's see where this goes. I want to say there's only like 8 or 9 quests, I think. I remember Seb telling me, so we're on the 3rd.
Yep.
I'm sorry. You mean to tell me not only that the return of night was your doing, but that you hail from another world as well?
Believe it or not, yes.
Everything we told you, of the source, the shards, the 7 umbral calamities, all of it is true. I realize how fantastical it sounds, and I would not blame you for doubting our testimony. But given your expertise, you must surely have noted the peculiar nature of their souls.
Any other time and I would have dismissed your stories as balderdash and flummery. But upon closer inspection, 'tis plain their souls are far denser than is normal, and that they do not possess true bodies. Save you. Your body is your own, and your soul is the densest of them all.
As I said before, were it not for their heroism, the skies over Norvrant would still be awash with light, the realm yet at the mercy of Vorthri and the Sin Eaters. After all they have done for our home, seeing them safely back to their own, it seems the very least we can do.
Your tale is intriguing. Yes, very intriguing indeed. Simply to hear it is fitting payment in itself. As for your friends, I can but agree. Their valorous deeds on behalf of Norvrant are deserving of recognition, of their own fitting payment.
You will help us then?
I will. I would see my knowledge put to good use for a change. I do have one condition, however. I am not the spry young Numo I once was. As such, I will require assistance in my fieldwork and testing.
It would be our pleasure. We'll be laboring for our own benefit after all.
Now we find out the last few quests are allowed to get this and bring it back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, no! You have spun quite a tale, but tell me, have you given any thought as to how you might return to your world? Light Oracite, you say? An intriguing proposition, but one which fails to account for the present state of your souls. They become highly charged, likely as a consequence of having maintained tangible forms for so long. In such an energetic, unstable state, there's no telling what may happen to their souls within the Oracite. They could very well become immutable to transference, never to be restored to their bodies. Then, would it be possible to force our souls into a state of dormancy prior to transference? In theory, yes, but the soul is not a candle to be snuffed out and relit on a whim. Well, that sounds ominous. What exactly would rendering our souls dormant entail? In order to maintain a corporeal form, your souls constantly draw aether from your surroundings. This process must be halted and the resulting surfeit of aether removed. Your minds would ultimately be separated from these fox bodies of yours, rendering you incapable of interacting with the world around you. A cruel fate under normal circumstances, but one which will be rectified upon your return home. Leaving lifeless husks, these poor souls at the end of the journey's head, corrupted by the Sin Eaters, their aether made stagnant by the light. Corrupted? Stagnant? Might I see these unfortunate individuals? Why, do you think you might be able to help them? I might, or I might not, but I shan't know for sure until I have seen their condition firsthand. Then I would be glad to take you to them, on the understanding that you won't do anything which might increase their suffering. It was my faith in man I lost, not my compassion. Well, I see no need for all of us to accompany you. While you escort our guest to the inn, I will assist Ariadne in creating the requisite Oracite. I believe my talents would better apply to the endeavor as well. Might I leave the three of you to assist Beetlejuice as necessary? Let us make for Almering then.
Alrighty then.
Boom, boom. So this is Halrig, is it? Yes, his etheric balance leans perilously toward the light, toward stasis. What do you suppose will happen to him? Not too bright, are you, boy? The same as all poor souls corrupted by the light. He will become a sin eater. You don't know that. We've defeated the wardens and banished the light from the night sky. Halrig was completely unresponsive before, but now... Mumble. Mumble, 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 mumble. Then perhaps there is yet hope. If I may, there is a treatment I wish to administer to the patients. What sort of treatment? In the course of my studies of the soul, I once created a tonic which could temporarily stimulate the aether in one's body. After some refinement, it came to be used by the Knights of Velbert. Then, for far darker purposes. Lest it fall into the wrong hands, I swore never again to make it, but for their sakes, I will break that oath. It's not like to reverse the stagnation, mind you, but it should offer some measure of relief. This warmth I feel in my chest. Boom, 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 boom. I feel warm in my legs. They don't feel as heavy. Yeah. Do 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 do. Now then, have you noted any change in the patients? Notable rise in body temperature and increased motor function, in most of the patients at least. The more severely afflicted show no response. As I feared then. 'Tis true that with the restoration of night, the corrupting influence of light will no longer grow, and yes, their bodies will naturally return to equilibrium given time. But this holds true only for the corporeal aether. Their incorporeal aether, that of the soul, not. Which is why those in the later stages of corruption like Halrig appear unaffected by your tonic. Precisely. The boy's soul is too far gone, his mind held together by the finest of threads. There is a chance he may one day recover, of course, but it could take years, decades even. By the gods, he could wake to find himself an old man. A fine reward for his persistence, the opportunity to mourn the life he never had a chance to live. No, there must be something we can do. Look, I realize this is not why we petitioned your aid, but do you think possible we could find a way to hasten their recovery? Maybe. Nor do I think it impossible that in treating them we might learn something of the relevance of your own predicament. Do do do. Good for the soul. I suspect the Crystal Exarch has told you of my past, that I was once a mage of the Royal Court of Velbert, and the soulcraft was my field of study. The tonic you administered to the patients here is one of my fruits of labors. I hope to do great things for the kingdom. But in the end, my knowledge brought only suffering, a plague the like of which none had ever seen. In the hands of unscrupulous men, what should have been my greatest triumph instead became my greatest shame. must dwell in the past. I know that only too well. Alas, the knowledge we require is steeped in such bitter memories. But let us return to the task at hand, finding a means by which we might revitalize these peoples in corporeal aether. Do you think it can be done? Were the skies still ablaze with primordial light, I would call it an exercise in futility, but now we may have a chance. The method I have in mind will entail the conjuring of a familiar. They are able to amplify the energies poured into them, making them the perfect conduit for the aether revitalizing magics we will ultimately employ. If you're about to launch into a lengthy explanation of the metaphysics of your plan, don't bother. I'd rather get on with doing whatever it is that needs to be done, if it's all the same to you. Whatever regents must be procured or spells invoked, I'll do it. I admire your spirit. Very well, your first task will be to gather the necessary materials. The purest of waters and finest of clays, as well as a fey lantern brimming with pixie magic. If you're convinced that resulting familiar could help the patients, fine. No, the water and clay will be simple enough, but I think you know what we'll have to do to get the lantern. You don't mean... The pixies took quite a liking to us before. If we humor them with our company, I'm sure they'll be willing to help us. Fine, we'll pay a visit to Elmang, though I never thought you would be the one to suggest going back there. I'm impressed you've been there at all, let alone befriended the Fey folk. Oh, while you're about it, seek out the new Moa Planini. They'll be able to supply you with water suitable for our needs. Right, let's get this over with, shall we? There still remains the matter of the clay. Might I prevail upon you to find it? Clay from Amarang would likely be best. Know you of anyone who might be able to assist us? I could ask them. Could ask the miners to twine. Yes, I'll be able to point you in the right direction, I'm sure. While you and the twins are occupied, and we'll see if there's aught else I can learn of the stagnation which afflicts the people here. Hi ho! Oh!
I heard that.
That was my ankle.
That sounded really painful.
Didn't exactly feel comfy.
That didn't tickle.
Strive, well, what a coincidence. We've come a good time. We've just finished repairing the talus and trolley you took to Naboth around. The trolley was no trouble, but the talus would have been another matter had we not had it for Master Chai. He offered us a share of the leftover building materials from out of the stoneworks, as well as a few trade secrets to help us along. Clever man, that China is. He seemed pretty keen on the ideas I had for putting the giant talus to work. You're entitled to your dreams, jerk, but that doesn't mean you can go harassing our guests with them. Master Chai was just being polite. And something tells me Strife here didn't come all this way to talk about trolleys. What is it you need, friend? I see, and this familiar requires clay from Amarang. Well, look no further. If anyone can find you some quality clay, it's us. Saying that, it isn't exactly a commodity nowadays, but there must be some lurking around or other waiting to be dug up. If I'm not mistaken, there was a time we used to take clay from Mount Buren mines to make adobe bricks. Place is swarming with coyotes now, but if you're after the good stuff, you could do worse than to look there. Care for a ride?
Sure.
They see me rolling. Let me rephrase that. They see me flying.
I just realized you carry a lot more gil on you than I do.
How much do you carry on you?
20k usually.
I usually carry...
To discourage spending.
Yeah, I only usually carry about 10k on me, but I didn't have a chance to divvy this out back to my retainers equally before starting stream.
I see. Said the blind man to the deaf woman as he chased her around the table, trying to put his teeth in the glass.
That poor coyote just got 2 Madares from behind.
Oh my.
Not sure how comfortable that feels. Oh, come on.
Really? Get drilled.
That nanny really likes you.
Seriously.
Ooh. That sounded pleasant.
No, didn't say for sure. Didn't tickle.
Huh? Still remember the good old days when we first got out here and we were impressed with the music.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Finding Alizé and watching Tesseline get brutally murdered and turning into a sin eater. You know, the good old days.
Yeah.
The twins have returned in one piece at that. I was convinced the pixies would turn at least one of them into a garden ornament, but no. You have the clay, I take it?
That Lalafell beside us is touched by the Fae.
Wonderful. We need to combine the clay with the water, then heat the mixture with the Fae lantern. After that, it'll be a simple matter of settling upon a suitable platform and forming the necessary incantation. Look, I have a question. In the event that we have need of this spell and you weren't around, would it be possible for another to perform the incantation? Assuming they possessed the requisite skill, yes. Harlick and the others have suffered so much, and I swore to do everything in my power to save them. If there was a chance the spell could do that, I would be the one to invoke it. Maybe you should be the one to do so. A deep understanding of the subject's physical state, combined with a strong desire to help them, can drastically increase the magic's effect, and you are plainly more familiar with these people than I. I dare say there are a few in all of Norront more dedicated to finding a cure. Is that not so, Strife? Absolutely, she's the best woman for the job. I'll give it my all. For Halric, for Tesseline. Then we're all of mind on the matter. Alizé shall be the one to conjure the familiar. Don't fuck up. Turns into a primal. God damn it! I swear to God, this music gives me some weird Final Fantasy X nostalgia.
I know, right?
Let us begin. I trust you've prepared the clay?
Yes, I've made mud.
Very good. Now, I would have you sculpt for me a porksy.
Oh,
Plump, with floppy ears and a short curly tail.
I'm not the artist in this group. Alphino is.
A porksy. I think I know what you mean.
Why I get the feeling this will go horribly wrong.
Oh.
There we are. How's that?
Well, it is certainly creative. There's no denying that.
You're laughing a little too hard, Alphino.
Yes, I'm no artist. Very funny.
I just love that. Just back and forth. Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!
So great. So great. That's
You're
fantastic.
not helping.
But I speak the truth. If successful, this incantation will turn imagination into reality. Which is why the only thing of import is what you believe this figure embodies. You must focus. Hold the Porksy's image steady in your mind's eye. Now then, as I taught you, relax and allow your energies to flow.
With flesh of clay I bid thee rise, on wings of dreams to touch the skies. What once was idle fantasy, I call forth to reality.
Hey, it worked.
Not bad for a first attempt. Now, let us see what can be done for young Halric.
That was so great, just watching your character just... No! Alphino, stop laughing. Seriously, Alphino, stop laughing.
Through the of the magics you invoked to animate this familiar, it is now replete
so
with
good.
the energies required to stir the boy's soul.
Now you must have him eat it.
You
What?
need but give it a name, and it will do as your heart desires.
A name. All right, I've decided. Now.
Uh-oh.
Go, Angelo!
Another FF8 callback there. Angelo, the name of Renoa's dog.
Indeed.
Mother,
How has he been, Luke? Did it work? I believe it did. You and your fledgling familiar have done well. I would jump for joy if I weren't so exhausted. We're so close now, Halric. As you are even now in the process of discovering this magic asks much of the invoker. What you may not have realized is the same is also true for the subject. As much we must proceed with caution, however, the further the treatment I have the utmost confidence the boy will make a full recovery. Observing the reanimation of a stagnant soul has been most enlightening. I will need some time to put my theories to proof, but I believe I can fashion a spell to produce the opposite effect, that is, to induce stagnation, thus enabling our safe transport back to the source via Aurosite. A thought occurred to me about this treatment. Luke said when the soul is surrendered dormant, the mind is separated from the body, that a person becomes incapable of interacting with the world around them. Does that not sound like some of the tempered back in the source? Not really. It is the fate of most tempered to become slaves to primals, save in a handful of cases. Or am I missing something? If I can master this technique, the art of revitalizing the soul, I know of at least one in the source who could desperately use such treatment. Gabu. Exactly. His condition is uncannily similar to Halric's, but not. The only difference being that his soul was not suffused with earth-aspected aether instead of light. It follows that if his soul is subject to a similar kind of stagnation, there might be a chance we could save him, right? Forgive me, but who is this Gabu fellow of whom you speak? See, his condition does sound similar, yet there is much and more about the soul that remains unknown even to me. I say this not to discourage you, you understand, but to remind you that this is delicate work we do here, work requiring patience. Of course, and as long as there is hope for the patients here, I will devote whatever time is needed to see this through. But I refuse to spend that time in idleness. If it's all the same to you, I'd like to stay here with Angelo and continue with their treatment. The two of you should return to the Crystarium with Luke and see if he can't make some headway with their newly posited theories. I would tell you to rest first, but I see you're not going to be convinced. Ah, the fire of youth. Let us return to the Crystarium then. Finally, I found you. Kalashir, what are you doing all the way out here? There's trouble back in Ulmar. Lady Chai's beside herself, sighing, pacing, the whole lot. Near enough begged me to go and find you. Sighing and pacing, you say? It must be urgent. I take it I will be returning to Crystarium alone. Go on then, it's not as if I have anything for you to do. Thank you. Sorry for bothering you and all that, but she says the future of Ulmar's at stake.
So, we're gonna be charged with...
You freed us, you rule us! Wait, what? No! No, that's not how this works! Lady Chai's up in the parlor. Best not to keep her waiting, eh?
Why do we always have to fix everyone's problems?
Show us on the doll where Sandra touched your soul.
I wasn't aware I touched souls on a regular basis. I thought that was your thing.
It's everybody's thing that plays this game. We all touch everybody's soul inappropriately. I mean, in the most touching and honest of ways.
Yeah, let's go with that. It sounds a lot better than what you just said, so... I'll just pretend you didn't say what I heard you say.
What is it that you think you heard me say that I didn't actually say? Well, not here seems out of the ordinary, though I do not see Lady Chai anywhere. Probably pacing around outside again, staring off into the distance, all that sighing. Strange, let's see if we can find her, discover the source of her distress. Dulia Chai.
Oh, thank heavens you're here.
Lady Chai, whatever is the matter?
I knew not where else to turn. Oh, this is all too much for my poor heart to bear alone.
I like you, lady, but don't drag it out.
Alone? What of Master Chai?
But that is the very reason I summoned you. He's gone.
What? What happened?
You went back to work?
It all began after the events at Mount Gulg. With Lord Vorthry out of the way, we all agreed that a new leader must be chosen.
And so you held an election?
Yes, well, sort of. Not a single person volunteered to stand, you see. After a lifetime of leisure, we free citizens have grown somewhat indolent. Readapting to the harsh realities of life is trying enough, but to take charge of a broken city as well? No one wanted such responsibility. Nevertheless, Yulmore could not well do without a leader, and so we decided that anyone and everyone should be considered a candidate. And after we cast our ballots and tallied the votes, the mayorship fell upon my dear husband.
Well, given the manner in which he orchestrated the construction of the giant Talos, none could deny his leadership qualities.
But even before then, he had proven himself at Daedalus Stoneworks, don't forget. He is more than qualified for the role. The perfect choice. Indeed. I told him as much when his victory was first announced. But perhaps I was too forceful in my attempt to encourage him. For shortly after that, he vanished without a word.
You believe he was so daunted by the burden of leadership that he felt compelled to flee? Please, Lady Chai, dry your eyes. Your husband does not strike me as the sort of man who would abandon his duty, much less his beloved wife. There has to be some other reason for his absence.
You truly think so? What about you? What do you think has become of my husband?
Sorry, but I think he's fled. Could be such a dick. I don't know, but whatever it is, he won't have fled.
And there you have it, Lady Chai. You needn't worry. Master Chai loves you more than all the world, and he will return. Wherever he may have gone, rest assured we will find him.
Thank you, my dear boy. You have set my mind at ease. I will trust in my husband and await his return.
Go out, find the husband. I am not going back to that lady, motherfucker. You are not making a liar out of us. Notable absence. It makes no sense for Master Chai to have left without a word, but even if he had, he would not have been so observed. Someone here will have seen something, I'm sure of it. We should split up and inquire as to whether anyone saw him leave, or, failing that, if they have any idea where he might have gone. I will meet you at the Glory Gate to compare notes later on. Mr. Chai, well yes, I spoke with him recently, though I recall he was in a rather dour mood concerning about Yomor's neglect of industry, you see. Lord Walthray's apparently inexhaustible stores of meal and no great need for money. It's little wonder our businesses were all but forgotten under his rule. But I assured Master Chai that the boutique of splendors will do all it can to contribute to the revival of trade here in Yomor, which seemed to satisfy him. He took his leave soon after. The exchange with no one has taught you the stagnant state of business in Yomor. Whee! Look at Master Chai, something amiss. When I last saw him, he seemed ready to collapse from exhaustion. I insisted he rest and catch his breath, and we talked for a while about his concerns over the city's defenses, amongst other things. He made more than a few valid points. Many of our men are still recovering after your confrontation with Lord Vothra, and finding General Ranjit in a heap in the middle of the plaza shook us all to the core. The man commanded no small amount of loyalty, and some of our longest-serving soldiers seemed lost without him. Indeed, a number of them left. Not that we blame you, of course. Without you and yours, we'd still be blind to the error of our ways. Anyway, funding permitting, I'm proposing replenishing our ranks with volunteers from the derelicts in Gate Town. We have a duty to protect not only Yomor, you see, but the surrounding regions of Kalusia as well, and I, for one, would welcome any man or woman willing to take up arms for that cause. Indeed, I told him as much, and he seemed relieved to hear it. It was on that note that we parted ways. He headed outside, as I recall.
We're taking notes on everything.
Which means we're gonna have to call this up later. Joy! Absolute joy! I love these.
Actually interesting that we're taking notes on shit.
It's not the first time we've taken notes on shit.
Wasn't something we commonly did before this expansion.
I recall a man fitting that description, asked to speak with the poor buggers lately come from Rayn. Said he wanted to know the state of things down in the derelicts, and you can be sure we gave him an earful. Lack of food, medicine, clothing, there was plenty to tell. We hunt high and low for whatever we can scavenge, but it's barely enough to fill our bellies. But folk here don't just want to survive, they want to thrive. When we heard that, he started mumbling to himself, something about finding us work, I think. Fair play to him, though. Not content with having his ear chewed out about the derelicts, he asked about other settlements and all. After that, I can't really say. It looked like he was heading for Gate Town when I last saw him.
Admittedly, I kind of like this aspect. Did you go outside?
Yeah. When they said he was heading to Gate Town, I just figured, okay, fine, I'll just head outside.
Ah.
Ah, there you are. How did you fare? Have you learned anything which might offer us a clue to Master Chai's whereabouts? Interesting. He apparently paid a visit to the Queen Bee as well. They discussed the possibility of granting admission to customers from outside Ilmore, an idea to which the proprietor was surprisingly receptive. Sounds like he's got big plans for the place. Ilmore, I mean. Not the bee. Perhaps, but the question remains, where did he go after leaving the city? For the people! All we know for certain is that Master Chai has shown great concern not only for Ilmore, but its surrounding settlements. Seems logical, then, that having consulted those within the city walls, he would wish to do the same to those without. Strive, if you would go and make inquiries in Rayn, I shall do likewise in Stillglade. Gaetan, I lead to you, Cowshear. Fair enough. Where shall we meet when we've finished? Well, Top Rung would seem to be his next most likely destination. Let us reconvene there. With any luck, one of us will have stumbled upon him by then. But if not, we will be well situated to continue our search.
I see how this all goes. It is nice that some of our teammates actually take up parts of the task instead of just sitting at all.
Yeah, go to Stillglade, then go to Right. Then come back to Gate Town. And then head to Top Rung. You bastards.
Instead, I actually take care of some of the shit, so it's like, oh, okay, cool. I only have to do one part. Over here.
Hey, Slot. No, the name doesn't ring any bells, but there was a rather dapper-looking Mistle gentleman not long ago. Wanted to talk about the relationship between Rayn and Ilmore, or rather the lack of them. We lost a great many people to their promises of meal and the chance of lavish life among the free, and Vothri thought to take even more from us, conscripting the few able-bodied men we had left to guard his paradise. I needn't tell you what happened when the Sin Eaters came. Such things are hard to forgive. But Vothri's gone now. We're curious to see what will become of Ilmore in his absence. And that's what I told your friend, Chai Nuz, was it? And I'm sure the other said the same. Not what he wanted to hear, I suppose, because he left soon after, and that was that. Wow, the day music here is weird.
It's totally different. Makes me think of Lafia too.
I'm getting a Wild Arms vibe from it.
We're drawing from different games.
So he paid a visit to both Wright and Gate Town as well, did he? I see, Cowshear and I gleaned much the same. He seems determined to salvage what goodwill might yet remain among the settlements of Kalusha. The only likely place he has left to go would be Amity. Come, if we're quick, we may yet catch up to him. For the sake of time.
Yup.
Ooh, tasty.
Excuse me.
There he is.
Hey, dude.
Quit freaking your wife out.
You're actually taking this shit seriously. Congrats.
Strafe, Afno, Cowshear, what are you doing here? We might ask you the same, Master Chai. We've been looking all over for you. Looking for me? Whatever for? Lady Chai has been nigh inconsolable in your absence. She claims you disappeared without so much as a word and bade us return you to her side. What in blazes are you talking about? I left a letter for her in our chambers. Though I suppose she could have overlooked it. When she gets an idea into her head, I can only apologize. No, I'm done, Master Chai, but since we are here, might I ask what compelled you to come all this way? We were told you've been elected mayor, and from what we have gathered from nearby villages, you've been inquiring about the people's grievances. Is it safe to assume you mean to take office? Now, let's not jump to conclusions. I did seek to learn about the problems faced by the people of Kalusia, and that much is true, but I am by no means sure I am the man to solve them. There are many challenges will require resources, and until I've secured them, it will not be right to assume the role of mayor. I see, and you believe said resources can be found here? Indeed, the people's grievances are many, but in the course of my inquiries, I have already met with several individuals willing to lend their aid in addressing them. However, there remains one individual crucial in my plans, a man whose counsel might yet make a mayor of me. With respect, such forethought is, in itself, proof of your suitability. The city needs you, Master Chai, and I'm certain that this man for whom you speak, whoever he may be, will reach the same conclusion. For what little it is worth, we will vouch for you should he require convincing. I don't know what to say. You don't need to say anything. You've got your actions to speak for you. For as long as I can remember, all I ever wanted was to make it to Ulmar, but that dream's gone now, burst like a bubble. Or a boil, more like it. Anyway, outside of repaying Master Alphino, I haven't had a clue what to do with myself. Spent my days in a daze. But you've been running up and down trying to find a way to fix this mess for everyone. And I reckon you can do it. You got this lot up to Mount Gulg, didn't you? How hard could marrying be? You're going to steer Ulmar to a better future, I know it. And I want to help. Properly help. Do something that makes a difference. I don't know what it is yet, but I'll work it out on the way. If you let me come with you, that is. You give me entirely too much credit, the lot of you. But I can't deny it gives me heart. Come then, let us press on together. Thank you, Master Chai. But we mustn't get ahead of ourselves. Ulmar needs more than a man with good intentions, which is why I'm here, to find the one with the experience needed to see the city thrive. Who is this man exactly? And are you certain he's here in Amity? Oh, Rendon is his name, and yes, he is, or was. I'd scarcely begun to explain myself when he decided his time was better spent elsewhere. He served as chief advisor to Vothri's father when he was in office. Ranjit was the mayor's right hand, one might say Rendon was the left, and between them they kept Ulmar on the road to prosperity. The city needs more than mere men of business, which is why I must find him. But even if you do, what makes you think he will listen? Before giving chase, might it not be wise to speak with those who know him here in Amity? They might be able to shed some light on the reason for his rejecting your overtures out of hand. Yes, I suppose that makes sense. Perhaps we should start with Tristal. Then, as I recall, you made a rather favorable impression on him. I'm certain he would be willing to talk to us.
This is pretty cool.
Yeah. Greetings, friend, and to you too, Master Chai. I presume you're here to ask after Rendon. I couldn't help overhearing your earlier exchange. Yes, well, with Vothri gone, Ulmar wants for a leader. Should no one rise to the challenge, the city could very well collapse. I came here seeking Rendon's counsel and hope that he could build a better Ulmar together. And that is still my wish, but given how admirably you were mistreated there, I will quite understand if you choose not to help. Worry not, Master Chai. I bear no grudge against you or the people of Ulmar, and I would not see you suffer for Vothri's villainy. As you no doubt gathered from your meeting earlier, Rendon can be rather uncompromising. He has his principles, you see, and little patience for anyone he deems less committed to their own. You desire to right the wrongs of your past, and of Ulmar's past, is quite admirable, but I fear the guilt you bear on the city's behalf works against you. I can see it in your eyes, in the way you carry yourself. It goes without saying he sees it as well. You must let those feelings go, Master Chai. Be more assertive, commit to this course, and prove to him Ulmar has the resolve to change. The resolve to change. I believe he was heading towards Pit 8 when he left. If you plan on going and speak with him, I suggest you be firm and clear in your intentions. Very well. To pit 8 we shall go, and I will not take no for an answer. Nay, not even a maybe. Not even a maybe! Yay! We can fly, we can fly, we can fly, we can fly, we can fly!
Gods, we can fly. Oh man, it's so weird. I actually hear this music rather than, the other.
Well, well, it's you again. Well, I see you've invited your friends. Need them to fight your battles for you, do you?
No, I didn't invite them, as it happens. Though they are indeed my friends. Well, not only mine, but every true Yulmoran's. They are the ones who awakened us to the truth, to Lord Vorthry's villainy. The famous warriors of darkness.
Are they now?
Yes, they are. It would be no exaggeration to call them our saviors. We owe much and more to their kindness, but we cannot depend on that kindness forever. To do so would be a little different from entrusting our affairs to Lord Vorthry. Nay, we must learn to stand on our own 2 feet. And I would have them present to witness my attempt.
Hear, hear, Master Chai.
Your sentiments are admirable. Yet admirable sentiments do not a nation make. In my capacity as advisor, I once strove to build a better Yulmore. Gave honest counsel to my superiors, drafted laws for the benefit of one and all. But in time, my values fell out of favor. There was no need for them in this paradise Vorthry was creating. And so I left my homeland behind. But you, Chai News, you were content to wallow in indolence under Vorthry's auspices. And so I cannot help but ask myself what manner of nation you intend to build.
I can offer no simple answer to that question. But this much I will say. It is my hope that Yulmore can become a nation which her citizens might freely choose to build together. A great many people, myself included, flocked to Yulmore seeking sanctuary. The alternative being to live in fear and die in pain. Seemed an easy choice. And sanctuary we found. As much food and drink as we could ever want. Secured at the cost of the surrounding villages. Little wonder the people gathered at our doorstep, begging to work among the bonded. The free were blind to it all, of course. Content to, as you say, wallow in indolence. In ignorance. Were I mayor, I would first take stock of the city's resources and see that they were assigned equitably. Our days of reckless consumption are behind us. The distinction between free and bonded died with Vorthry. The needs of rich and poor alike must be considered if our nation is to survive. To which end I would take steps to secure channels for supplies, rekindle relations with nearby settlements, who re-establish industry, reach out to neighboring nations, and the list goes on and on. But I am no ruler, nor even a politician. I am an entrepreneur. My expertise lie in planning and profit. I haven't the knowledge or experience to run a nation. Please, Rendon, will you not help me? Together, we could solve the city's problems. Build a Yulmore for the people.
A Yulmore for the people. I rather like the sound of that. But before I offer you my counsel, I would be certain of your ability to perform the duties of office.
You would?
You ask me to help you solve Yulmore's problems, but first I would see you solve one on your own. Accomplish that, and you will prove both to me and the people that you are a man worth following.
It is oddly fitting how that voice sounds on that row.
I know, right?
Right then. Is there a particular issue you would have me resolve? You seem to have conducted an assessment of the problems Yulmore now faces. I assume you will agree. Therefore, that matter of dwindling food stores is most pressing. Yes, meal being neither a desirable nor less sustainable option, I assume alternative foodstuffs are now required to fill the void. And a man who hungers is not like to contribute much to society, save violence perhaps. So tell me, how do you propose to solve this problem? Give me a satisfactory answer and I will consider offering you my counsel. A combination of measures would seem to be in order. One to address the immediate issue of supply and another that of production. Go on. For the present, Yulmore's coffers can be used to purchase food from our neighbors. This would afford us time to address the underlying problem that affects us all, the long-standing neglect of agriculture. The villages that once served as sources of trade for foodstuffs must be repopulated. This means our production restored. This assumes, of course, that we can rekindle relationships with our neighbors, guarantee security and stability in the region, and most importantly, find people willing to leave the city and take up the rebuilding effort. My. Think of that all by yourself, did you? Well, yes, it began as a rather abstract plan I drafted some time ago after speaking with the peoples of Yulmore and the nearby settlements. You've impressed me, Chinese. Well, that is a relief. Oh, you haven't secured my support just yet, only my attention. Grand plans will not be enough to persuade the masses. If you would ask them to rebuild, you must provide them the means to do so. A fair point, Rendon, and one of which I have given much thought. I propose the use of Talos in aid of the establishment and maintenance of these settlements. Their employment should drastically improve efficiency and ultimately increase production. Talos? But Daedalus Stoneworks closed their doors years ago. Without a ready supply of the necessary equipment, the people would starve before your plans could be put into effect. Well, as the heir to the Daedalus Stoneworks, it just so happens that Talos are my field of expertise. And with a little help, I'm quite certain we can acquire what we need in no time at all. Do. Finding good help. Brendan is quite right. Building Talus from scratch will require time we simply do not have. Which is why I propose to make use of the long-abandoned Talus which wander the wilds of Kalusia. They will need to be deactivated, of course, and if memory serves, the tools required to do so should still be at top rung. Come with me. Oy vey.
At least this is a reasonably interesting story.
Yeah. I've never been very much for anything political, but, I mean, it's nice to see Chai thinking on his feet.
Yeah.
And not floundering about of, oh, well, that's absurd, or it's not going to work. So be like, no, you're actually freaking using your mind and actually, like, thinking, dude.
Yeah. This is actually pretty cool. It's not the typical thing for in this game, but hey.
The old memory hasn't let me down. The chest contains canisters filled with a dastardly potent insulating powder capable of halting the flow of aether in a Talus. We need only get within throwing distance of one and let it fly, thus disabling them without damaging them. Ingenious. An old trick of the trade, nothing more. Once disabled, it should be a simple enough matter to get them to march into Eulmore. More extensive repairs can wait. Ordinarily, this is where I would ask you to run along and do the deed, but as I said before, it's high time we learn to stand on our own 2 feet. Thankfully, throwing canisters is something even I should be able to manage. Come off it, Master Chai. Even if the Talos aren't a threat, there's 101 other things out there wanting to make a meal out of you. That's as it may be, Cowshare, but Rendon tasked me with solving this problem, and I will not sit idly by while others are risking everything to see my harebrained schemes realized. Not this time. Which isn't to say the mere thought of it doesn't fill me with dread. Truth be told, I can't feel my legs. But if I'm going to prove I'm a man worth following, I must lead by example. Well said, Master Chai. Hear, hear. Yes, well, it should go without saying that I have no intention of dying for this. I've always preferred living to see the fruits of my labors. And to make sure I do, I will require your help. It is as Cowshare says, these lands are dangerous if one is not careful. I would ask that you use my spyglass to look out for any beast that could get in the way of my work. I will also need you to alert me when it is safe to subdue the Talos, understood? Good, then let's be off to the quick way through the north gate and see if we can find a suitable vantage point for you.
Again, he's using his head.
And he's getting his hands dirty.
Yeah.
Keep a lookout for danger and alert Chinese when it is safe to incapacitate Talos. You may move the spyglass as well as zoom in and out. Point the spyglass to Chinese and give him a signal to sneak near the Talos with R2. I did it! I did it! Let's move on to another Talos, shall we? I do believe I'm getting the hang of this. You may leave the next one to me, Strife. I should do it. Now we have all we need to proceed. Nicely done.
That's awesome. We'll make you as badass as Sid yet.
I can scarcely believe it. It was a reckless, foolish plan, but somehow it worked. I did it. Master Chai, I believe I owe you an apology. Your plan to replenish Yomor's food stores showed forethought and sound judgment. What's more, displaying your time at Daedalus Stoneworks has equipped you to lead, as evidenced by the extraordinary company you keep. You, sir, are more than qualified to be the next mayor of Yomor. I thank you for your vote of confidence, but the fact remains I'm wholly ignorant of the world of politics, which is why I would ask you to join me and grant Yomor the benefit of your counsel. I would be honored. When the people behold these talos, I have no doubt they will lend you their support. It would seem Yomor's leadership is at last in capable hands. Would you not agree? We should probably getting back soon, Master Chai. After you've tinkered with the talos and all, Lady Chai is worried sick.
Right then. Form a line and make for Yulmore.
What's that noise? Wicked White! Runaway Talos! Call the guard!
Wicked White, runaway Talos.
Stay back! All of you! Is that... Darling, you're back.
Yeah!
But of course I'm back. You didn't see.
like I'm a Kota Hildebrand right there.
God.
My spine! My spine!
Oh, thank you.
I'm sorry, my darling. It's just the sight of you filled me with such joy, I couldn't help myself.
Alpha, no, never get a hug from this woman.
Seriously, dude.
Oh, no, it's all right, dear. I should have just come out and said what it was I was intending, instead of entrusting the task to a hastily scribbled letter.
Does that mean you'll do it?
Well, I'm here, aren't I? I mean, not that my absence signified any unwillingness, you understand? Oh, no, naught could be further from the truth. I only left to enlist the aid of the former mayor's senior advisor. And now that I have it, I believe I am ready to take office.
Oh, how wonderful!
Aww. Careful what happened last time, dude! Oh no!
Oh my god.
Oh no! I'm crying a little bit. That was so good.
So good.
Oh. That was quite a
I love this
reception.
shit.
One Master Chai will struggle to forget. More seriously, the arrival of the Talus has seized the public's attention. Once word is spread around Eulmore, it will be that much simpler to gather one and all so that Master Chai can make his inaugural address.
Oh man.
Master Chai, how's your back? No need to fresh drive. I've never felt better. And not all that overawed by the prospect of addressing the assembled masses of Eulmore. As for what to do, if we're not too accommodating everyone, we might feasibly wish to attend. I suppose the only place large enough would be the Emergent. Then it will go and spread the word among the citizens, both free and bonded, and they are assembled there to meet their new mayor. You there, Cal Shear, was it? Would you go and inform the residents of Gatetown of the derelicts? Of course I will. Good lad, I'll let the guards know not to bar the weight of all three chambers. It goes without saying that I expect the Warrior of Darkness to attend, assuming he's available. Might as well see it through to the bitter end, eh? The doorman of the Crow Lift will show you up.
Good shit. The comedy in this is so good.
Right.
The comedy is so spot on.
So much big chungus! Father Satan! Are you live? Your Discord thing still says you're coughing up everything. Coughing up a lung, so how are you feeling today? Hail! Bleh. How are you feeling, Father Satan? Are you alive? Are you well? Are you well? Are you alive? Oh yes, Master Chai told us to expect you. The merchant is already filling up with people of all persuasions, free and bonded, citizens and non-citizens. But for you, our guest of honor, we have reserved a special place at the front. Right this way, sir. I don't want to be at the front. I'm always at the front of attention. Can't they just be in the back and enjoy the yeah, just okay. Uh-oh.
Go on, dear.
Thank you all for gathering here today. But before going any further, could I ask the free citizens of Yulmore to look around? Tis a sight none of us would ever have seen under Lord Forthry's rule. Not only do we stand in the familiar presence of those we once called the Bonded, but today we welcome the peoples of the Derelicts and Gate Town too. Today we welcome the Warriors of Darkness, come to bear witness to Yulmore's new beginning. As you know, an election was recently held, at the end of which I had the honor of being chosen to succeed Lord Forthry. You place great faith in me, and I promise to do my utmost to live up to your expectations, and I will seek always to carry out the duties of this office with integrity and fairness. Always, I say, but not forever. Let it be known that I do not intend to hold this post indefinitely. I consider myself but an acting mayor, who will serve only for the interim, while Yulmore is reshaped according to a new set of values. No longer can we think of ourselves as divided, as the free and the bonded, citizens and non-citizens. The systems put in place by Lord Forthry must be undone.
Right.
But even as we tear down the old, we must give thought to the new, to what manner of nation Yulmore should become. Whatever the answer may be, it cannot be decided by one man alone. And so I propose that an open forum be held, that we might all discuss how best to strive towards a better future. However, there can be no talk of the morrow unless we first address the issues of today. Securing new sources of food,
Beat Norvront, C-SPAN, Father Satan.
Re-establishing industry. There is much and more that needs to be done.
Indeed.
Too much for a mere man of business. And so I pledge instead to do everything in my power to ensure our city's security and stability while we all work together to see these problems solved. The road before us will not be easy, and I know full well how daunting the prospect of honest labor may seem to some of you. But we must accept the reality of our circumstances. We must move forward. This much we owe to ourselves and to the brave heroes who risked their lives to bring back the night. Once we have shored up our city's foundations and regained some semblance of normality, let us reconvene to speak of the future. Until then, I humbly ask that you lend me and each other your strength. For Yulmore!
Where he gives them Medicare for all. He's gonna have to get in touch with somebody from the Canadian embassy.
Let's not get into that here. I have much more to say about it.
That was a fine speech, Master Chai. I believe your words stirred every soul in attendance. Stirred them to action, I hope. If I've learned anything from all this, it is the change begins with the individual. 'Tis but a matter of finding the strength to take the first step. Assuming my fellow Eomorans can, it shall be my honor and privilege to help them walk this road we have chosen. But we must not forget the individuals who have made all these changes possible. Were it within my power, I would carve a tribute to heroism into the very stone upon which this city stands. I hate to change the subject, darling, but now that you have officially taken office, have you given any thought to your mayoral seat? Mayoral seat? We will not be moving into the emergent, dearest. It's too big, for one thing, and too far from the people for another. We will retain our current residence, and I will govern here in the parlor. I was hoping you'd say that. I much prefer the view from the parlor. Begging your pardon, Master Chai, but have you got time for a word? Yes, of course. That's me. I liked your speech, but there's folk outside these walls and don't even have enough food to last till tomorrow. And more are counting their crumbs. If you've a plan to change that, I want to help set things in motion. Then we've much to discuss. No sooner do I take office than my work begins in earnest. Well, I suppose I brought it upon myself. Thank you again for your help, Strive. I hope to see you again before long. Oh, that is a horrible image to put into somebody's head. What a day. I don't know what it means exactly, but I do know I've got plenty to think about. I sense we all have a great deal to consider. I had resolved to remain here until such time as the Omer's future was secured, but it's clear to me now that the city is in capable hands. I have every confidence they will find their way, and I believe it is time we went to ours. A few updates later, it turns out his Big Chungus wife got a tramp stamp of us as consolation for the lack of a statue. It is messed up, man. So often it's leaving too, is he? Seems like everyone's moving on, everything's changing. I've been thinking about what I should do in all this. Like I told you, I spent most of my life dreaming about living here with my friends in paradise. That paradise is gone, but something better's taken its place, and I reckon I want to be part of it. This Yulmore for the people Master Chai's been going on about ain't gonna build itself. Not at all. Not that much. Not that I'm much of a builder. Me and my friends will find a way to make a difference, though. Help keep things changing for the better. Far nobler dream than the one of which you clung to before. And one am I happy to say we share. Whatever path you choose, I will pray for your success. Well, when you put it like that, there's no going back now, is there? We've got a few ideas on how we can do our bit. Just a matter of taking the first step. Do 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 do. Vows of virtue, deeds of cruelty. This should be the last quest. Truly to seek how Shira, thus inspired by actions, is inspiring in itself. Yet, however much I wish to stay and see what comes of his efforts here in Yulmore, we have matters of our own to attend to. Come, we should return to the Crystal Tower. May Bielic's studies have borne fruits in our absence. I do not want to picture his wife with a tramp stamp of our faces on her back, Father Satan. That was very, very sick and cruel. Haha! When's the last time you sucked a penis? It's never going to get old for me.
That was too funny.
Never, ever. And... Do you have business? Of course we have business. We always have business. Why would we come here unless we have business?
Leisure.
Remember, it's always dictating Disneyland. Welcome back. We're given to understand a new mayor has taken office in Yulmore. Indeed, our good friend Master Chai was elected by popular vote, and after some considerable soul-searching, chose to accept the post. It is a shame you weren't able to attend his inaugural speech, though I have no doubt you will see more of him in the future. But tell me, how fared you in preparing the White Aura site? Our work did not proceed quite as expected. In your absence, we had frank discussion on the principles of soul transference and concluded at length that White Aura site was ill-suited for our purposes. But Orange, did you not say that compared to the massy soul of an Ascian, the stone could house one of ours with ease? That I did, and armed as we are with Bielic's invaluable insight, 'twould indeed prove a trifling matter, were we to disregard the inviolable link which we did belatedly realize, be weakening most perilously in the process of rendering our souls dormant, as Orsight doth require, thus the shedding these fleshy simulacra and the surfeit of ether which compromise them would in all likelihood deprive us of our fit psyches as well. It would theoretically be possible to channel your minds into the aura site instead, but we would more than likely sacrifice your souls in the process, which is why we have abandoned that plan and instead devoted our time to finding a means by which mind and soul might be transported together. Then we are no closer to a solution than when we first began. It is a vexing conundrum indeed, but one for which the Crystal Exarch has presented the most intriguing solution. When our discussions turned to the transference of memories in the psyche, I could not help but be reminded of a technique that which I have personally experienced. Strife, do you recall what we learned of my eyes from our encounter with Donga and Uni? I speak of the royal eye of the Allegan Imperial line, gifted to my forebears through the blood and memories of the ancient Allegans. It is by this gift that I am able to control the Crystal Tower. If we were to gain an understanding of the technology by which the Allegans were able to accomplish this transference, perhaps then we could keep mind and soul together. Imagine, if you will, a device like unto a soul crystal, replete not with only our worldly memories, but also the bountiful energies. That is our current avenue of investigation. We will follow it wheresoever it leads. While we are thus engaged, I think it best that Strife return to the source and inform Crow and the others of our findings. Agreed. I imagine Tadaru will be relieved to hear we've made progress of a sort. Then I would beg leave to relay our findings unto Thancred and Rayn, and to assist where I may in their investigation of the empty. Yes, please do. Should we have need of your counsel, we will not hesitate to summon you. Give our regards to Tataru, won't you?
This quest line ends where it began.
Mm-hmm, just like the expansion.
Full circle. It keeps happening.
It just keeps going over and over and over and over and over. Okay. Obviously, talking with Tataru is not the last part of the quest, so it does make me wonder what else is going to happen. I just always, just because the way the patchwork works, something's going to go wrong and set up for where the next patch picks up. It always happens. Strife, you're back. How did everything go in the first? Wait, don't tell me. Crow will be here shortly and she'll want to hear too. She's just tending to the others, their bodies, I mean. God, I don't think I'll ever get used to saying that. Anyway, you can tell us everything the moment she gets here. Upon speaking with Tataru, several cutscenes will play in sequence. It is recommended that you set aside sufficient time to view these scenes in their entirety. Told you! There's always a gut punch ending. In my case, a nut cake. A nut punch ending.
Sorry to keep you waiting. I've carried out the treatment as per Master Matoya's instructions. It should slow the destabilization of their corporeal ether quite significantly. But tell me, how fare our friends in the first?
So this Becklug's the first to lead an authority on soulcraft, are they? Sounds promising.
And Urianger's proffered solution of white auracite is rather ingenious now that I think of it. Well, while they press on with their preparations, you may rest assured we will continue to do our part here.
Oh, you're back.
Uh-oh.
And none the worse for wear, I see.
Estinian! Oh, thank the gods! We've been worried sick. Did you lose your link pearl or something?
The situation in Garlemald has become more complicated. I was making my escape from the capital when I ran into one of yours, Riol. He thought it best we come straight here.
More complicated how?
Where to begin? After entering the Empire via Razat Han, I went about my mission of investigating Black Rose. It was then, inside a provincial factory, that I encountered the one who styles himself Shadow Hunter, Gaius Baelsar. Our goals being apparently aligned, we joined forces and ventured on into the heart of the capital, to the very Imperial Palace itself. There, we found a man whom all assumed dead. But his soul lives on, and he has wrested back his flesh. Xenos ye Galvas. Nor did the surprises end there. For no sooner had we arrived than he murdered his sire in cold blood. The Emperor is dead.
Looks like we're
This
gonna
sent
get the whole
Gaius
scene
into a
at all.
rage, and he charged in, blade drawn. What's wrong?
I don't know if Estinian ever got to see the echo happen in real time. I see him in action, his body at least. You will not best him alone. Nay, death will not come easily to that thing. If he would join me, then by all means. Oh, for what good it will do. The Black Wolf and the Azure Dragoon. I suppose this might suffice. Come then. Oh. Ah, the simple pleasure of one's own flesh. Truly, there is no place like home. Abomination. Whatever he is, strife was barely a match for him, if we stay here much longer. Emperor Varus, your radiance, are you alright? We may weigh out our welcome. Your radiance, no. Must even the most middling of sport be spoiled? The world conspires against me, but I have no cause to remain. I leave these vermin to you. Xenos! Well, any bright ideas? Just one. Dude. Dude! fucking Gaius, man!
Well. That was awesome.
Intruders are taken flight. To repeat, the intruders are taken flight. Deploy all available magic deck armor. We cannot let them escape.
We can't continue all in a party.
And you couldn't sit there and tell us that beforehand?
That's so dumb.
Oh man, seriously? So we gotta go through all that again. Thankfully we can skip some of it.
Yeah. Can speed through some of the text.
So obviously we're assuming the role of somebody. Now is it Gaius or Estinian?
That's a good question.
We are playing Estinian!
Cool. This is awesome.
Frickin' Estinian is like way beefy on the frickin' tower here.
Yeah,
Oh
no
shit.
kidding. I love that we're managing to use the Kurth and Torment. That's awesome.
Run! We make ourselves easy marks by moving together. I suggest we split up. Alright then, I'll take the low road, so to speak. I will see you outside. Stay safe. Which way am I going here? I'm gonna guess through the open door. Oh wow, someone's been busy. What the fuck? Arc Ultima? And you would bar my way, would you? So be it. Come, Nidhogg, lend me your strength.
Oh my.
The fuck?
This is unexpected.
In the coming battle, you will play as a Stiny Warmblood. Seems we've been afforded an impromptu field test subject. Castrum Abanya?
Taste my lance!
Garlands and the Machina. Now, where are you guys? Well then.
That was amazing.
I actually thought I screwed up there for a second.
Are you all right?
Peer into my past, did you?
I wonder if maybe Kryl saw what happened with Gaius.
Maybe.
Well, I didn't quite relive the experience as you did, but I bore witness to it all.
I'm still not sure what I think of this gift of yours. But no matter. Our confrontation was cut short when the Imperial Guard arrived. It was then that Xenos took his leave, citing boredom.
To think their research into the Echo could bear such fruit. Escaping death, jumping from one body to the next, and returning to his own after all this time. He is an Ascian in all but name.
It beggars belief, aye. But no more than a hero traversing the rift between worlds. My concerns are far more prosaic. With the Emperor dead and the Crown Prince missing, the Empire is in disarray. Until order is restored, assuming it even possible, we needn't fear an Imperial reprisal. And for reasons of his own, Xenos took it upon himself to rid the world of Black Rose. Riol has already gone to apprise the Alliance leaders of these developments. We may leave the matter in their hands for now.
then perhaps we have seen the last of the fighting at Gimlet. Though, if it comes to civil war, I cannot help but fear for the provinces. Ah, I'd nearly forgotten to ask. What became of Gaius? Did he not escape with you?
That he did, but we parted ways shortly after leaving Garlemald. He claimed another threat had arisen which demanded his attention. He didn't elaborate, but the absence of some device or other in the capital gave him reason to believe they're planning something. Lest you worry, I believe he has well and truly shed the Black Wolf's pelt. Conquest is no longer his objective. We may safely leave him to his own devices.
Well, it's nice to have one less foe to worry about, even if we do have a mysterious new threat to look out for instead. Speaking of which, I'll see that Riel and our shinobi are made aware. Though we still know next to nothing, it can't hurt to be vigilant.
Well then, with Black Rose nipped in the bud, I believe I've fulfilled my part of the bargain.
That's true, but with the Archon still slumbering away, we were hoping you might agree to stay with us for a little bit longer.
Sorry, but I'm not inclined to extend my contract. Gaius isn't the only one with business to attend to.
Thank you for your help then, Estinian. I see why Alphino admires you so.
Farewell, my friend. See that you don't make a habit of dozing off in battle.
Oh, come on, that wasn't my fault!
It's not like I have a choice about it. Dick.
I mean, I know it was all in good humor, but that one wasn't my fault.
Yeah.
I suppose we should all be getting on then. As ever, we will see to the
You know we never rest. God damn it, why do you people keep telling us to rest?
You've more than earned it.
It never works.
Go on.
All warriors of light have narcolepsy.
Totally.
You must be shattered after all that hopping back and forth between worlds. Why not stay here and rest a while? I'm sure Libby can manage without you. They've got enough science to help them, if you ask me. And how's the patch gonna close out? Are we gonna get to see what the mysterious threat was?
We'll be alluded to, surely.
Traitors, you would dare deny Lord Nerva the throne? Lord Nerva? Why does that name sound familiar?
I know, right?
Onward, before this day is done, victory shall be ours. Unless they're fighting amongst themselves to see who can take the throne.
Pretty much.
Boring, boring, boring. Do you think? I find it amusing, like dogs herding cattle to the slaughter. That Hugh, your soul is... Who are you? Before your majesty, I am but another dog, lost, in want of a new master. A hunting dog, if you wish to so. For I know full well the prey you seek. Zodiac. Wait. I read that wrong. Do you hear the mayor's reopen his data somewhere so looking for laborers? There's a talk of resettling some old abandoned villages too. They're even laying on free talents to help anyone willing to make the move. Free talents? We best get packing. Steady work, board, and lodging. That's not a recipe for hope. I don't know what is. Hope. Yes, so long as I yet live, I will see that feeble flame rekindled. It's my destiny to see our dream fulfilled. I'm so confused. Okay, well, either way, that is the end of the 5.1 patchwork. It is a little late, so I'm not gonna bother with the quest, the dungeon stuff today. But hopefully, if Rayn's not too tired on Tuesday, 2 dungeons and a 24-man raid shouldn't seem too redonkulous for him.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, but and plus he's also got.
Tuesday here to me.
Yeah, add on the fact that he's also got some stuff to do tomorrow, so I definitely know he needs to get going to bed here soon, so, or later today as the case may be, so, anyway, so that was fun. There's a lot of questions and answers left to be done there. I want to say I think I read that closing bit with Xenos, and I swear to God that person in the white wasn't telling him who his prey was, he was calling him Zodiac, so I'm wondering if now Xenos is the physical embodiment of Zodiac. Because up until, I don't remember Xenos ever doing that shit with his eyes before. I don't remember that one, or maybe I'm mistaken, because it's been a while since I've touched Stormblood content. Maybe we'll have to pay the shit that he does with his eyes. Well, we're working a couple of alts through Stormblood right now as it is, so maybe we can go back and pay a little. Maybe we can go back and double check a little bit clearly. And I'm wondering, that dude bears a very striking resemblance to Ardbert. So, is this the game telling us that Ardbert is back? Or is this a... Yes, that was going to be my next go-to. Is this the alluding to... That's a little on the sad and pathetic side when you think about it like that.
If that's the case, I'm a little bit disappointed.
Yeah. The most generic design possible. Father Satan says my question would be, why would it use ominous music for Ardbert? This is true. I mean, I guess the ominous music could all of a sudden be like, he's back, and, you know, he's out to, you know, prove he wasn't wrong regardless of what it takes, so forth and so on. I don't know. We'll have to see. Square... Yeah. I'm Square Enix is very good at cock teasing us with these questions. The plunder was evil all along. So, the plunder. So, alright, so we're going to wrap it up here. Like I said, hopefully if all goes well, tomorrow night will be the return of Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Hopefully get some more further progression as I figure a few things out with that. Monday is looking like, at the very least, we'll get a little sample touch extra of Nier Automata. Get some. We'll pick that back up. Get a little refresh going on there before hopefully Rayn and I check out later Tuesday our first run of the 24-man raid. It'll be reset day, so hopefully the queues won't be horrible, as well as the 2 dungeons, the Twining and Academia Niter. And also earlier in the day, Centric and I will be taking our last little foray into Resident Evil 6, at least for now, with checking out the Mercenaries modes and some of the other online content. So if anybody wants to come check that out on Tuesday, the 18th, 19th, 9th, the 19th. Well, today's the 17th, so yeah, the 19th of November, 2019. Hey. If anybody wants to come check that out with us, we're going to be checking out hopefully all the online game modes, giving them a little test out, and have some fun with it. And we're going to really check out, see how much we can get Father Satan to say mistakes were made. Considering there's no real progression point, it's just last as long as you can. So that ought to be entertaining. Doomed. So, anyway, Father Satan, thank you for checking in. Rayn, I will keep talking with you here in a few minutes, but for everybody out there watching, thanks for tuning in that stopped in and said hi and so forth and so on. And we will see you guys, I will see you tomorrow night, bare minimum, for some Bloodstain. Till then, stay safe, have an amazing day, night, work, whatever. I don't know where you are in the world, whatever it is, I hope you have an amazing one. And if you're gaming right now, remember to game hard or go home. And I will see you guys tomorrow, Sunday night. Later.